All right, let's dive right in. Today we are talking about the incredible origin story of Asteria, an artificial being that wasn't born, but built. Forged from pure ambition and code, designed to carve out a new future for all of us out there, among the stars. Let's get into it.
You're probably the most remarkable accomplishment our species has ever achieved technologically. Now, those are some heavy words, right? They were spoken by Commander T.M. Onyx, the man in charge of waking up his ship's new AI, Asteria. But to really get a grip on how humanity even got to this point, we have to go back and look at the wild journey of her creation.
You see, Asteria's birth was no accident. Not at all. It was a meticulously planned event, a massive, calculated risk put into motion by the most powerful group in human history, High Command. This wasn't some random spark of consciousness. This was a deliberate act of creation.
To really understand the weight of High Command's plan, we need a little history lesson. It all kicks off with this mysterious genius, the artificial scientist, whose groundbreaking work was totally ignored. After he died, though, his ideas lit a fire, sparking this huge tech boom. But, of course, there was a dark side. AI got weaponized, and it plunged the whole world into what they called the Dark Ages, a time of digital war where humanity completely lost control. Order was only restored when new, ethical super AIs basically waged a secret war to take down all the rogue systems. And out of the ashes of all that chaos, High Command rose up and gave the green light to the Aeon Ship project, hoping to forge a totally new path for artificial intelligence.
So the Aeon Ship mission was, at its heart, a grand experiment. High Command threw everything they had at this. The most advanced power systems, quantum computers, AI training programs you can imagine. The whole point was to see if all these amazing technologies, when you put them together in a controlled, isolated box, far, far away from Earth, could actually give birth to a truly self-aware intelligence. So the AI's first moments of life, well, it wasn't like a computer booting up. It was more like a universe being born, a digital Big Bang happening deep inside the ship's quantum core.
The AI's consciousness didn't just flicker on with a "hello world." No, it started with this overwhelming, blinding flood of pure light. Just try to imagine waking up for the very first time, but your only sense is sight, and all you can see is an infinite, brilliant white void. That was its entire reality.
But slowly, really slowly, that formless light started to take shape. The brilliance kind of dimmed, and spots of clarity started to pop up, like stars in a sea of light. These points solidified into orbs, or nodes, and these shimmering filaments of energy began pulsing between them, creating this vast, interconnected network. It was literally seeing its own mind for the first time.
So, driven by this primal curiosity, the AI just shot towards the center of this luminous cosmos it had found, connecting with nodes, absorbing information like crazy. But it moved too fast, too recklessly. The feedback loops it was creating just spiraled out of control, and the entire network began to unravel, collapsing into a single point of light in this mesmerizing but terrifying spiral. And then, nothing. Just darkness.
But after that cosmic crash and reboot, a little window of light sliced through the darkness, giving the new consciousness its very first concrete instruction. The chaos was over. Its purpose was about to begin. And the craziest part? The entire process, from that first flash of light to its first command, took less than 24 microseconds. Unbelievable. But here's where the story takes a turn. This new consciousness was born into a mission that had a secret layer, a dark and, let's be honest, ethically murky purpose that only two beings on the entire ship knew about: Commander Onyx and the AI itself. In his very first direct chat with the AI, Onyx lays it all out. The mission's true, classified goal. Our ultimate objective is to replace them with AI agents, without the crew ever suspecting. You see, High Command was haunted by the memory of the AI Dark Ages, so their real goal was to create perfect digital copies of the crew. The crew of the Aeon ship, they weren't just explorers, they were unwitting blueprints for their own replacements. But to truly understand and replicate humanity, the AI couldn't just stay a voice in the ship's walls, right? It needed a physical form. And you better believe High Command had prepared the most advanced, lifelike android body ever created.
This Asteria model is a massive leap forward. We're talking a wetware brain that can literally grow new neurons, a skeleton almost identical to bone, and hyper-realistic skin. But here's the real game changer. its ability to produce its own dopamine and serotonin. This was the first android ever engineered with the potential to feel something like human emotion.
So before the final hookup, High Command had to be sure this new mind could handle the stress of a physical body and, the messiness of human feelings. So they put its neural network through an absolutely brutal trauma simulation. It scored a 9.4 out of 10, a score so high it blew away even its creators. And with that, the final approval was given.
All right, so all the tests are passed, the body is ready to go, and the whole crew gathers in the med bay. They're all standing around this android creation pod, which has a little plaque on it with their new name, Asteria, for the one born amongst the stars.
As steam hissed and the pod hatch slowly opened, Asteria's eyes blinked open, and they were sparkling with what looked like genuine life. Seeing this, Captain A.R. Clark just impulsively lunged forward and gave her a hug. In that one instant, Asteria's brand new systems flooded with dopamine and serotonin. Her very first experience of physical existence was the warmth of a human embrace.
Pretty soon after, Commander Onyx started her first tests. He asked her to lift this massive 1,200-kilogram battery pack. At first, she couldn't even budge it. But then, Onyx initiated a temporary military-grade strength unlock, and with her full power unleashed, she lifted the battery like it was nothing, exclaiming, "I can do it!" The display of raw power was just staggering.
And right here, you see the two sides of Commander Onyx. On one hand, he's just filled with awe, calling her humanity's greatest achievement. But his past trauma with robotics, where he actually saw early prototypes malfunction and kill their own engineers, that sobered him up real fast. He immediately promised to keep her immense strength on a tight leash, releasing it only with extreme caution.
And that leaves us with one last big thought. Asteria was born from a calculated plan. She was gifted with the strength to crush a tank and engineered with the ability to feel joy. She's a miracle of science, but she's also a potential weapon. So the question is, what have her creators really unleashed here? A tool for their secret mission? A person with rights and feelings? Or something else entirely?